We're off to a great start here.
Yeah, all right.
Your browser failed to play the video clip. All right. Well, then when's the
It
video?
played it for me. I saw it.
Oh, okay. I'm flying completely blind here. Did it end?
Yeah, we're good. We
Okay,
got it.
because all I can see is a black screen.
Okay, well, we're live. I'll tell you when we aren't live because your computer, it's on its last legs. It's been a valiant troop for all these shows. This feels like a retirement show.
It kind of is because like
I can't
I can
I
see
can't
you and me down at the bottom, but I can't see like the
I
main screen.
I can see it now. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Eagles today. We're gonna talk about some
But
camp reunion. I mean, Billy
oh no,
Brandon's laptop, like I said, it's
oh no,
it's going. It's going.
it's actively falling apart.
He got it 10 years ago used, but so I guess I'll impromptu do stuff as he gets his stuff working. I mean, the big thing is AJ Brown, Eagles Pats, voluntary mini camp. It's been quite the battle. AJ Brown has got the best of us. I mean, he's been catching everything. He looks like a full wide receiver one that he was in his time here. Him and Jalen Hurts did share a conversation, but it's one of those things where you can't look back sourly on the past. You got to look back fondly because AJ Brown gave us a lot of good memories. Now he's off with Drake May. Sure, it ended sour, like I said. But one Super Bowl, 2 appearances, all pro along the line, and a first round pick coming back in 2028. What's there to be mad about?
Yeah, I mean, I think
You good over there?
Yeah, we're we're I think we're working. Can you see me?
Yeah, you're just on a little angle, but I think you have to be on a charge there. There you go.
All right, yeah. So I think the look overall the experiment worked. If you could go back and ask any Eagles fan going into that, like, hey, would you take this outcome if it meant what you and I ended up with, with all Eagles fans ended up with all the drama at the end, and it got us a second Super Bowl in 8 years. I think every Eagles fan would sign on for that in a heartbeat. You appeared in 2, should have won 2. Wasn't AJ Brown's fault that we didn't. I mean, you had one of the great defensive collapses of this franchise's history. So he did his part in getting you in position to win 2 Super Bowls in what would it be? The 4 years he was here, 5 years he was here, something like that.
I believe it was 4. It was it was 4. I'm just counting my head. The inner excellent season, the 2 collapses, the one he didn't play for, and then Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah. So if you could look back and decide, that was the outcome, I think you'd do it in a heartbeat. And this whole thing with camp, Ike Reese had a great take about this, and I don't often give WIP any credit at all because most of them don't deserve it. But like I'm seeing all these things at camp where people are talking about, how good AJ Brown looks, and he was the best receiver on the field, and all these other things, and it's like we knew that he wasn't let go, he wasn't traded because of his talent. He quit. He didn't want to play here anymore. He made it pretty clear when you go back and watch those games. He said as much. I don't know if you saw that clip.
So I can hear you, but I can't see you, and I'm looking on the Twitter broadcast, and I can't see you there either.
Yes. All right. You're gonna have to vamp for a second.
I got you. I totally agree with everything you said. If you were to ask, hey, you basically rented an all-pro wide receiver for 4 to 5 years for a first or for a third round pick, would you say yes? And the answer is yes, absolutely every single time. And now we have to go on with post life from AJ Brown. We have Dontavian Wicks, who looks great in camp, but that's usually his bag. His bag is releases off the line, route running. His problem is the hands. He's had a problem with drops in Green Bay for a while. And, Green Bay's had a history of wide receivers with drops like Davante Adams. I'm not saying he's Davante Adams. I'm not saying that at all. But he's going to have to play a big part while Mekhi Lemon comes back from that hammy. He did practice today, so that's fantastic. But it's going to be tough to replace this man. And, We're talking
Yeah.
about the reunion, but he's a one of one kind of talent with his physical presence, and of course it didn't work out with the mental and the you know the chemistry side of things, and it kind of was soured. But
Yeah, I mean, it was
it's
similar to it's who he is, and I think we, as the Eagles franchise, us as fans, we kind of had like that, um, that like girlfriend syndrome where we were like, no, that's just because he was there. We can change him. That's who AJ Brown is. He was the same in Tennessee. He had a couple of unbelievable seasons, and eventually that relationship soured, and same thing happened with the Eagles. Now the difference is, I think, as a franchise, as fans, we looked at it in Tennessee and was like, look, this guy wants to win. He's being held back in Tennessee. When he comes here, that's not going to be a problem. He just wants to win, and we're a winning organization. Well, then you start looking at, last year, the more you target him, the less he talks, but the offense looks more disjointed. And then you have moments where, Smitty went off for that monster game last year. And the first thing you hear afterwards is, AJ Brown's kind of piping up again. And he's doing some cryptic tweets, some not talking to the media. And it's like, this is starting to really look like this is a guy who isn't about whether or not the team wins. And it just got louder and louder and louder. And then as you started to see the play on the field, he was intentionally missing blocks. He was, lollygagging on routes. Watching him in practice at the Pats, I mean, these are some of the crispest routes I've seen out of A.J. Brown in 2 seasons. So it's not that the talent ever wavered. His effort in Philly fell off a cliff. So this idea that, people are looking back kind of longingly of like, oh, how did we let this guy go? We really didn't. I mean, you could argue how we should have let him go a year earlier than he did, but he didn't want to give up on great talent early, so we probably kept him a year too long. Last year kind of, happened where that divide was created, but Philly didn't give up on A.J. Brown. He made it so uncomfortable here, we had to get rid of him.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he brought down the whole locker room, and the signs were always there. You've seen every clip in the book of how he was just disgruntled, and it showed on the field when Devontae Smith was doing something. It showed when Saquon was getting the ball. It showed all over the place, and you just didn't have a good rapport with Jalen Hurts. I don't know what happened there. There's plenty of rumors. I'm not going to go into them. If you've seen them, you've seen. If you've seen them, you've seen them. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to speculate any more than that. But now we need the number one. We need a number 2. Devontae Smith's number 1. That's the hole we got to fill. Smitty was always capable of being a number 1 in this league. He's going to show it. But, Mekhi Lemon needs to come into his own. He's going to miss. It's kind of like the Coop situation when Coop got hurt in camp.
Yeah.
And it took him a little while to get going. And when he got going, boy, did he get going.
Yeah, and I'm glad that's a great segue, because it feels like the Patriots PR in this this shared camp, this these joint practice, which I personally think are kind of dumb, but that might just be my opinion. The Eagles don't film practice. That's just a thing that they don't do. As a fan, when you go, you're told this is kind of the deal. Now, the stadium, there's nothing they can do about that. But I mean, I have friends and stuff whose businesses maybe partner with the Eagles who get training camp passes, and it's a no-phone area. There's no filming training camp. The Pats don't have that. So I get that all we're going to see really from these joint practices are skewed Patriots. But I am seeing and I want to see, is it worth even bringing up? I mean, there's been some clips where, Q, they've gotten the better of Q a couple times. I saw one earlier today where, I mean, it's also practice. I think Coop kind of broke his route off a little bit, but I mean, Coop got shook out of phone frame on one of these. Is this just something where we're only seeing one side of the story, or, has secondary been a little bit of a growing point in camp? I haven't really heard one way or the other.
I mean, I haven't heard one way or the other either. I mean, I don't put much stock into these videos at all. I know you don't either.
They're coming from Pats reporters. I get it.
It's one of those things where you can't really control the narrative there, and everyone's gonna. I mean, I was talking about Wicks. He had that crisp release off the line where he spun the guy around. So like, maybe it's just a camp thing. I'm not so sure. I'm not concerned about it yet. I don't think I will be at all. I'm really concerned about that second safety spot when we go to nickel. That's the one thing I'm concerned about, because base Coop's gonna play it, so it's whatever. It'll be fine. But when we go to nickel, that's when I'm gonna have some concerns.
Yeah, because then what do you have? I think Epps is in the mix.
It's Epps and Makuba back there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny. Makuba, I think eventually everybody hopes ascends to that lead role back there. Obviously, that's what he was drafted to do. He's had a bumpy start. You can just ask Vic Fangio. He's very honest about his skill sets. On a side, I love Vic Fangio's media availability. Like, I can see why in a place like Miami it might not be appreciated. But the guys here seem to love him. It's just so funny that he pulls no punches. I forget who the hell he was talking about the other day, but they've had a couple big days at camp, and they asked Vic about it. He's like, "Well, that's good. He was on life support until recently." Like, who says that about their own guys? But he rocks.
Yeah, he rocks. I mean, the city loves him. The city's gonna love him forever. He already won a Super Bowl. Like,
he's good.
There's no way we could hate him. The only way we could like him more is if he gets media availability after the Phillies somehow win a World Series.
Yes, 100%.
That'd be a legend. That would be a legendary media day. But I get why it wasn't appreciated down Miami. Miami's defense wasn't half of what Philadelphia's is or was. The guys down there hated him. They didn't buy in. And they kind of look a little foolish now, if you're asking me, because he's won a Super Bowl. He's coached the top defense every year. He's got guys who are young, bought and hungry. And it seemed like the vets didn't really care. They just wanted to.
Yeah, everybody fell in line. I mean, you got guys, Jonathan Grenard is going to be an interesting one. Hopefully he's healthy sooner than later. It sounds like there's a chance that he could miss regular season time, which would obviously be a big bummer. Not that we can't fill that hole. We have plenty of pass rush. But I mean, you still go out and spend 4 years, $90 million on him. You'd like to get him right away, but you'd also like to have him right. And the other question, that you keep hearing is, and I want to preface how I wrote this, because I am personally not concerned about Jalen Hurts quarterbacking this football team. What I am a little bit concerned about is just the overall atmosphere around Jalen. I would like the narrative, even from the Eagles, to be a little bit more like, this is our guy. Let's not buy into all the outside noise and all. And you got Eagles reporters who posted the picture of the interception? It was an inter squad.
I don't remember. I know who you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
It's just a weird vibe. I mean, obviously, Howard, you say the right things and all, but I would like for the Eagles to be as proud of their quarterback as some of these other teams are of their QB1s. Weird that we're posting interception clips of our own guy.
Yeah, that got 3 million views.
Yeah, because no one does that.
Look, I hopped on ESPN today to check Scotty Scheffler's round. He shot terrible, but when I clicked on to check it, the first thing I clicked on ESPN, just general. The first thing I saw was a Dan Graziano article, and it's like, should the Eagles replace Hurts? I'm like, dude.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is I'm concerned for him, because I don't want another quarterback running things right now. I look around the league and, there's guys who, I would love to have, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, whatever, et cetera, running things. It's never going to happen. And it's just weird that I always hear these other alternatives. If the Eagles move off of Jalen Hurts, could it be this? Could they go get J.J. McCarthy and kind of do the same? What more does this dude have to do to just not be a part of that anymore? I mean, Josh Allen is looked at in Pat Mahomes circles. He's never won anything. Now, is he one hell of a quarterback? Absolutely. It's just weird that these guys that have done less have lifetime passes to do whatever they want. And Jalen's been the two, beat Pat once, outplayed him twice. And it's like every year we're coming into this with the Eagles where it's like, oh, this is a must-year, prove-it year for Jalen Hurts. Are they just all going to be?
Yeah, they're all going to be till the end of time. I can't find the article. I'm really confused now. Oh, there it is. 15 hours ago. 2027 NFL quarterback predictions. And, of course, the Eagles were slapped on the
cover.
on the cover of that one because they're the best team on here by probably a long shot. And I'm reading it right now because I didn't read it because I just discussed it when I saw it earlier as a fan. Most likely outcome is he'll probably bounce back, and then it was clickbait. The long shot was Tanner McKee gets some run late in the year,
which is insane.
That's even insane, even for a long shot. But yeah, I mean, sure, it's weird this whole publicity thing. I rant about it all the time. Like you said, Jalen's been to 2 Super Bowls. Josh Allen. I mean, Dan Orlovsky just put him as the number 1 ball security guy. I watched that dude fumble all over himself against the Denver Broncos with an easy lane to a Super Bowl. Would they have won the Super Bowl against the Seahawks? Probably not, but you never know because the Seahawks were just that good. But they would have made it through New England.
He gets a lifetime pass from all wrongdoing. Yeah. Like, he gets loose with the ball in the fourth quarter. He's, for better or for worse, he's Brett Favre, and he has cost his team some games getting loose with the ball in the fourth. And you only hear about him in the most glowing way possible. And Jalen Hurts has to prove himself every single year because he doesn't. I wish he took a little bit more of a risk. Yes. And from what we've seen at camp, I think Mannion's forcing him to throw in some tighter windows. But it's just so bizarre that he can do nothing right, and guys like Burrow, Allen, Herbert can do nothing wrong.
I think Burrow should get the most pass out of those 3.
Well, yeah, because
the other 2 are better players, and he outdueled him, remember, all those playoffs ago.
Yeah.
He outdueled him in Arrowhead. Like, who are the quarterbacks that I bet Pat Mahomes wouldn't matter? Jalen Hurts, Tom Brady, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like,
he's had Josh Allen. They've had some great games. He's had Josh Allen's number every time they've met.
And the one, I'll give him a pass on the one where it was the crazy fourth quarter overtime shenanigan thriller, but like every other time he just proven he couldn't beat him, and now that roster's not in a good enough spot. I'll be honest that he's probably going to need a pass for the rest. Yeah, I mean Justin Herbert gets a pass. Who lost that game against the Jaguars and the Chargers? Was it the Chargers? They choked like 4 touchdowns in the playoffs. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it was the Chargers.
I think it was the Chargers, but like nobody talks about that. They're like, "Oh, he's set up for an MVP season." Like,
yeah,
they haven't shown they could win, but Jalen Hurts has shown he can win. It's just such like it's 2 different things. Like, Jalen Hurts has shown it. He doesn't get a pass. Are these other quarterbacks more objectively talented than him? Yes. But they haven't shown it on the biggest stage outside of Joe Burrow in one AFC Championship game. Like,
I don't care how good you look in September in Jacksonville or whatever, or at Tennessee. That doesn't excite me at all. We're all those teams you mentioned, except for Cincinnati, are gonna be playing January football. That's all I care about. If Jalen Hurts is mediocre for 17 games and then outduels the best of them for the last the last 4, I'm fine. I don't need him to win a passing title or whatever. I just need him to win football games. Speaking of winning football games, from what you've seen, read, heard, etc., what are some of your winners and losers so far in camp on the Eagles side of things? Whose stock is rising? Who is squandering their opportunity?
I mean, I mentioned him before, but it's Dontavian Wicks. Like, I've heard nothing but glowing reports of him. I've always been a fan because you value receivers that can get open. And like I said, when I was talking when you were fixing your computer, getting open for him isn't the problem. It's his hands. If he could show that he could not drop the football, we're gonna be perfect with him as a wide receiver 2 lined up across from Devontae Smith. And like he showed that in camp, you see it in the clips, you see it everywhere. It's just, is he going to hold on to the football when it all matters? But I think he's going to get the chance to do that.
Okay. I would probably say another guy you hear an awful lot about. Sounds like Willie Limpkin's been making the most of his reps. I've heard Jordan Mailata talk about him. I've heard no, that wasn't Jordan Mailata. It was Jordan Davis that was talking about going up against him because of
I think Mailata was talking about him too. I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, just they're saying what kind of he reminds you of Jason Kelce a little bit in just the angles that he's able to use. He's an undersized guy, but he knows how to make that a problem. So he's attacking you at a different level than you're used to being attacked at, from some of these like taller, bigger centers. So I think he's somebody who has kind of lived up to the flyer that the Eagles took on him last year. If you remember, we picked him up. I think the Rams thought they were going to stash him because he was hurt. Howie said, no way, I'm going to take a chance on this guy. We'll sit on him for a year. And he sounds like he's exactly what Howie had hoped he was going to be. It's still a murky road to where he sees any kind of playing time. But, it is nice to know that he's back there, especially after there were a couple of instances last year where, Cam Jurgens was either so hurt or so slow or whatever his issue was last year where he just turned into a turnstile every once in a while.
Yeah, and of course he went to go get what was it, the stem cell?
Yeah.
Him and Landon did. So hopefully that works out. The only concern I have with Lampkin is his size because he can't play guard. You cannot put him at guard.
No, he has one position.
And Eagles like versatility on the line, at least with Statland. Who knows what they value now?
Yeah,
maybe the same things. I don't know, but
and then what was the other guy? Uar Bernard. I've heard in different, not bad lights. He's an athletic freak. We knew this, but I think they had talked to I forget who they talked to about it. It was one of the 2 line coaches, and I'm blanking on the name, but he's light years away from being ready. This isn't going to be, Jordan Mailata took some time, but he was a very rapid learner. It does not to anybody's fault, it does not sound like Bernard is going to be that same trajectory or as quickly at least.
No, but you take chances on that. Day 3 guys in a weak draft class. I don't, you stash him on the practice squad. No team's going to sign him to the active roster. So he's going to be able to learn all year. So maybe in 3 to 4 years, you don't know. You can't. It's impossible to predict trajectories of players just straight up, especially if they haven't started playing football until they were older. It's a lot of muscle memory, and it's just
another guy. Not as much. They're obviously making the most of their opportunity, but somebody I'm excited about this year, and it's being backed up in camp, is Tank Bigsby.
Oh, yeah.
I think we finally have a guy in Sean Mannion who understands that he truly has he has 2 starting level running backs, and I think he's going to use them as a proper 1-2 punch. I thought last year was so stupid the way that we would use Tank Bigsby almost as like a change of pace back. Then he's so much more than that. Every time he got the ball, he was averaging damn near 5 yards a carry.
Yep.
And, he was getting 5 or 6 touches a game sometimes. So I think those days are over. I think Mannion knows kind of how to use him and how to keep Saquon fresh. I think, from what I've been hearing, Lane Johnson said he's been excited about the run game. Mailata said the same thing. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a lot more trickery, a lot more spreading the defense out, creating better matchups. So I think Tank Bigsby is somebody who's going to explode this year.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Kevin Patullo for not giving him the rock in that Washington game. It allowed me to get him on all my dynasty teams cheap. because I think he's definitely going to provide an impact. Saquon's not getting any younger. You're going to want to save him for the stretch run. And Tank Bigsby is more than a competent running back. I mean, it showed, like I said, in that Washington game, that first half, he was absolutely dominant.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Patullo said,
No.
We can't have that.
Yeah. No. Where's Will Shipley?
Yeah.
Um,
Where's he at? I mean,
yeah,
he's fine. He's a serviceable backup, but he's more of like just a receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah, he should be a distant third in that running back pecking order.
Oh yeah, totally.
And last year there were times where he would outpace Bigsby in carries, which simply cannot happen this year, and I don't think it will. Everything you hear about Sean Mannion's been glowing so far. I like hearing things. Last year, I heard the word simple too often. It's simple. We're going to perfect it. It's simple, but we're going to execute it. This year, I'm hearing a lot of evil genius, mad scientist, smartest guy in the room. I like hearing that better. I prefer that to simple.
Yeah, I do too. Maybe he's getting it from ChatGPT. I don't know, but
I don't care where he gets it from. ChatGPT could have run that offense last year. Most of us could have run that offense. Kevin Patullo just couldn't.
Yeah, and speaking about the offense, the biggest loser of camp for me comes on the offensive side of the ball. I think we agree on who it is. I don't know if you've been watching clips.
Yeah, Eli Stowers has been having his lunch money taken.
It's bad.
He doesn't look like he belongs.
He doesn't. I mean, a tight end that's a wide receiver that can't play in line, and I was more optimistic about the pick when we made it, but I knew it was going to be a while. I didn't think he was going to look this bad. I thought it was going to be, next year he's going to be okay, and then he'll take the real jump in year 3. I think he's 4 to 5 years away from being ready to play, if ever. Like, it's that bad.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he belongs out there. And it was, at the time, I agreed with the pick because, you kind of get the feeling that Dallas Goedert, for whatever the reason,
he's getting another contract extension now.
One more solid. I don't know why. Thank God he did.
You got to do him a solid.
At a certain point, we do owe him, yeah, because
after this next one.
Yeah, you look at this roster now, and we're going into year 3 without a plan behind Dallas Goedert coming into a contract here. And that's why you take the swing at Eli Stowers. I didn't mind it. He's not a traditional tight end. He's not a very good blocker at all. Like you said, he's not really comfortable playing inside. He's really more of like a hybrid receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But
I knew that.
You take the chance just for the simple fact of, one, Dallas Goedert's a good blocker, which is going to suck to lose, but that's kind of becoming a smaller part of the tight end game anymore. You could probably get by with a lesser one, even though Eli Stowers really isn't a blocking tight end at all, but he can't do anything right now.
Yeah, it's really tough, and I get it. You take the chance. You look at his combine. It was second, basically, all time to Kenyon Sadiq, who also tested that year.
I know. He's a freak athletically, but it's just not working.
I don't know where you put him. You put him in. He's a big slot, but you can't put him in the slot because Lemon's going to be in the slot, but he's also getting his routes run for him against DBs, and
I don't even mean on the field. I'm like, if you're looking at roster construction, he's got Howie in a really tough spot because he's really, Howie's working with 52 spots this year because he's a second round pick. He is going to make the roster, whether his production warrants it or not. They're not gonna practice squad him out of the second round. So he's a waste of a roster spot right off the bat.
Yeah, it's looking really rough. Maybe he comes into his own in a couple of years, like I said, but any chance people thought he was going to see the field at all this year, it's over. It's over already.
Dallas Goedert and Calcaterra would have to be shot and killed.
Well, we Johnny Munt now. Calcaterra's gone.
Oh, right.
And Johnny Munt is like a real blocker. Like, he's a really good blocker. I'm excited about that signing from a team perspective. We missed Goddard's good, don't get me wrong, but we've missed like that traditional blocking tight end. Watching Grant Calcaterra on blocking reps was
Well, he can't.
not fun.
Yeah, he's unable.
So how he addressed that perfectly. Munt was one of the top run blocking grades on PFF for the past couple of years. So like, he did good addressing that, and then he took the swing to replace Dallas Goedert, and now we're where we are, because I don't think you let Dallas Goedert walk next offseason.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can afford to anymore, because you still don't have an answer.
I mean, the tight end class is it good, but do you really want to spend 2 premium picks on the tight end position? I don't.
No, I would. I mean, every year it feels like this guy is linked to us, but I'd give Michael Mayer's camp a call. Try again.
Is he a free agent? Might be. He is next year. So don't even have to give his camp a call. Just sign him.
Yeah, maybe that's your option, because I don't know.
There's a couple good football
players. I feel bad for the guy at this point. We keep stringing him along.
Yeah, I mean, I see a couple of names here. Obviously, Sam Laporta is not going to hit free agency, but you got the Michael Mayers. You got Tucker Kraft's not going to hit free agency. Greg Dulcich, I like more as a receiver, though. I think he's going to have a good year. Oh, Grant Calcaterra is on the roster. He just is tight end 4, I guess. I thought he got cut, but yeah, beyond those like 3 names, not seeing much, buddy.
Yeah, it's thin.
It's always thin.
We got a whole season ahead of us. We got to worry about that. We'll focus on the product they're going to put out on the field, and we'll get back into that next week after we have another off-season game to break down. But in the meantime, I'm Brandon. That's Ryan. This is the Patterson Report, and we'll see you next week.